been doing for so long. As Min.Dr.Huey P.Newton says, it's a protracted struggle. And I'm glad you pointed out that how long this is. A lot of times people look at moves in a reactionary way. Like, I was having some conversations with some cats last night. They were like, get to the point, Chairman. I said, there ain't no cliff notes in Cub class. And a lot of us, we want to hear about the whole process about it, you know. But I just want to say a clinch fist salute to the stance you've been taking, so, you know what I'm saying? I mean, in addition to the 27 years you point out, Xavier, Dr. Xavier, respect, brother. Work y'all been doing this foundation. My brain is bubbling as we speak right now. We just come up the hills of getting historical landmark status in Chicago with Maywood from the Hampton house that Chairman Fred grew up in. And one of our mottos is bigger than the building, more significant than the structure. And here, my sister comrade, Councilwoman, Central Committee member Carol Fife, talk about the conditions here in Oakland. I say, man, it's a party with reference to Chicago, Oakland, and sister cities. I say the relationship is still here, not just in the progressive moves, but the attacks being waged is happening now. They push us up out of there in rapid speed. This visionary, this theoretician, this revolutionary, Mr. Huey, I can't impact that it has had on my life and so many others. I remember I was in a situation in Baltimore, and I was talking to sister in the party. She said, she said, let me talk to you for a minute. She took me to the side, and she opened up this a secret compartment, and it had the red book and party literature, and she said, the impact of the party still impacts me how I deal with relationships, business, everything. A lot of people are not able to distinguish revolutionary from reactionary. A lot of people cannot distinguish war from revolution. A war is when you have two occupying armies, and you suit up and you boot up and you get out, they get out. Revolution, complete change in the state, they just cannot pinpoint and pick out certain dynamics. A climate where entertainers, it was different than entertainers, different than a politician, different than an athlete. It's a climate where the ante was up in our relationships. In fact, Chairman Fred would say the best dressed brother was one of the leather jacket in 45. The climate when James Brown was supposed to come out and say, I'm black and I'm proud. Climate in Chicago, where street organizations, there was known as the devil disciples, got up public and say, we now change our name to the black disciples due to the political education we received from Chairman Fred and Black Panther Party. Climate when the Black Stone Rangers said they changed it to the Black Peace Stone Nation. The climate when the federal government at their own mouth, and I quote them, but I tell we don't believe nothing that we say white folks said, the government said, but not the horses about the pigs mouth. The government said the Black Panther Party existed, there was a regular dose what they call black on black crime. Before I went back to Chicago to fight, to get engaged in the fight to save the Hampton house, me and Newton, Newton's son, Mr. Huey's nephew, we was talking about the particular parts throughout the country where drugs were strategically placed at. It was hot spots between Baltimore, Oakland, Chicago. It was a hot spot, so the Black Panther Party was strategically organized. In fact, the site that Chairman Fred, the fifth of the Mar Clock, was assassinated at. We had to go clean house over there one time. In fact, the house that Chairman Fred grew up in before we got to this historical landmark, they turned into a dope den. We had to go clean house. It's a war tactic, assault on the earth. As a child, I grew up with, I got suspended for even mentioning the Black Panther Party, mentioning Chairman Fred's name. This is not a light feat. When Frederica sent me the picture, and I said the Panther blazing. It was inspirational. We got to keep our guards up because one of the state's tactics is they can't stop it, co-opt it, ward it down, change it, make it so they can be. So we got to keep our guards up. It's like getting in shape. Like we say, okay, we straight now. With this legacy, Brother Dr. Xavier says, a legacy is more important than your life. A legacy is more important than your life. About 2 or 3 o'clock this morning, before I had up on the plane, I'm in Chicago, some young brothers, they're doing a rap video. They want me to do a cameo in it. One brother reminded me, he said, man, I'm about 15 years old. I remember seeing you, he said, watching you do a protest. I said, damn, you kind of messed me up. You make I feel like an old man. You tell me that. He said, but the way you walked, You said you didn't bite your tongue when the police came around. And it's something I didn't pay attention to, but he remembered that. On the set, Judas the Black Messiah, I wasn't shooting the dice. I had a template. We had a template, which our field marshal told I was on extra tour duty down. So I tell people just here in Oakland one time, he was down there on that, day to day with us on the struggles and the battles about the politics of the Panther Party. Stuff that people might just dismiss, like things you make, the title, the terms. Scenes that, give one example with the sister, when the police shot the headquarters up. Initially, from a movie perspective, it's a great thing to say, oh, just show her shooting, that's guns blazing. We had to struggle to say, no. The Panther Party was taking the context, the people, the community are out there walking. And now the next first day of the Black Panther Party was the Black Panther Party for self-defense. Because I said political, like when the police beat us, they train and say, stop resisting, even if you're not resisting. The terms, but I was able to look back and look at old, that sounds cliche, war stories. The struggles that went down, they did the movie The Mac in California. I remember the Ministry of P.Newton had summed up Sweetback's badass song. How even those the parties had to go back and watch it again. How many, the gun, how the parties, in fact, he said we must even politicize the gun. All of that template, that prototype, it impacts for me and so many others to this day. So to be able to have this name, to have this conversation open, a conversation that many of us have had to have in a cold sort of way, not to whisper about it. We have to be proud about this shit. We have to be upfront. And I welcome when people try to bring contradictions about the Black Panther. I say, come on with it. I say, the pros outweigh the cons. This is a politics. We have a chapter in Brazil. That's one of our largest chapters, the Black Panther Party Cubs. The impact into the Black Panther Party to this day. The knowledge just gave me the bus. He said, you remember how I walked on protest. On the set, Judas the Black Messiah. I remember sitting downstairs with Danny Kaluuya, who portrayed Chairman Fred, not even seeing him. Walk about 7 times. I said, hold on, tell me, do it one more time. The walk ain't right. You got to feel that beat, that shit. Even though there was internal contradiction with the party, we said, no, that's a pamphlet. It's a politics. The genius of Minister Huey, the utilize that philosophical truth of dialectical materialism. When to pull the uniforms back, when to pull the gun back. Some cats so reactionary say, oh, we just gave up on the gun. No, to be able to assess the situation and move accordingly. We cannot afford the luxury of dealing absolutes. We may be a cool fashion statement today, but might not be out there tomorrow. And the Panther Party they turned our communities into classrooms. They didn't afford the Chairman Fred, a lot of cats engaged in intellectual masturbation, a whole bunch of theory and term. But then to be a member of the Panther Party, to wed that theory and practice. And this genius, this visionary, I can't put in words the impact. Again, not to sound sacrilegious, I tell people, I say, like when we say these titles, it's not ego tripping. It's to put to the people who believe that their only worth comes from the state. Now, ironically, the same state is oppressing them. People say, they'll say reverend, they'll say professor. When you say the titles of an organization that stood on its own terms. When I was locked up, when I was held captive, other organizations walked past, I say, well, you charged? I say, no, I'm proud about it. Chairman Fred was the chairman, deputy chairman of the chapter of the Black Panther Party, not because the state said it. It was a structured organization. That Mr. Health Doc Satchel, not because the CDC said it on their own terms. And that movement, that politics, trickled down, impacted music. I think it became more black quarterbacks because the state said, okay, do that. No, the party up the ante. Everything, I'm close with this, everything is political. Words, terms, fashion. And again, this legacy, I'm saying this as objective as I can. Again, not to sound sacrilegious, I tell you, this revolution is my religion. And this is something that we just can't afford to say, well, let's talk about this in Black History Month, or wait until I'm saying, well, election time. We got to turn lives. We get what type of politics we relate to, what type of athletes we relate to. And the crazy thing, ironic thing is, a lot of people come to grips with that when they kind of direct hit themselves. We say, he turns more than me black. He turns more than me black. Michael Jackson said, don't make a difference if you're black or white. When that case came, his song changed. They don't care about us.
Okay.
A lot of people have to relate to what we call the Latrell Sprewell dynamic. Latrell Sprewell, he checked the coach about doing something to him. The party stood up about the people. One time, a real quick war story, there was a guy named Hampton got killed by the Chicago police, shot 16 times. The news reporter kept calling him Hampton. I said, let me explain to you why you can't understand his name is Hamilton. Because you can't believe that I don't know this guy from a can of paint, that we fighting for our people. We really got to know him personally, and that's the party politics, service of the people. One time was a debate with some different organizations, and one person said, yeah, back then, stuff was going on, everybody had the free breakfast program. A representative from another black organization said, hold on, we won't give away no free food, man. And he was right. He was right. He was another one, the Panther Party, and it wasn't charity. It was getting people involved in fighting for that precious entity. And I'm gonna close with this. That taboo word that a lot of people don't want to relate to. That word that entity that a lot of people say, we'll help you if you get this up. And the Panther Party never compromised that. That visionary, Min.Dr.Huey, never compromised that of self-determination. As Malcolm X said, even our mistakes belong to us. That's a different feeling. I tell kids, give me a raggedy Chevy that belongs to me as opposed to some state-sanctioned vehicle that can control the shots. You know what I'm saying? This politics, it produces a different type of athlete, a different type of relationship, a different type of argument. Long in the legacy of Min.Dr.Huey, P.Newton. Power to the people.